You're listening to the Gator Man Show.
Taking a bite out of boy bands and hip-hop country.
Back porch with Brandon.
You're listening to the Gator Man on 104.7.
The Gator Man. Hanging out with my boy Brandon.
This ain't no bro country show.
Country music on 104.7 The Gator.
I was down in the swamps one night singing to the moon when the alligator crawled up to me and said,
Hey, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I got Dion Baia on the line. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing? How's everything down there on this Wednesday?
It's pretty nice, actually. The weather's lovely. Now we're like at 60 degrees here, so we're good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can remember, being in there in July and being in that three-piece suit that I wore in the movie, and it was so oppressively hot.
Oh, my gosh. That was the last time I saw you was at John's event.
Yeah, and we were filming on the side of the road, and it was so hot that in between takes they were taking the jacket off me, and I was ripping the lining out inside the jacket because it was sticking to my skin. It was so sweaty and hot.
I'm glad it's going to be cooler this year. We get to do it in April.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be phenomenal. How are you? Everything okay?
Everything's great, man. Just wanted to talk to you about what's coming up. And since the last year, you and I kind of follow each other on Facebook, and I knew you had done some work at Fox News. I knew you were junior in a stand on it. But then I see you've got a book that just came out.
Yeah, I have a book coming out this June. It's available for pre-order on Amazon and probably any other place you'd like to buy books.
How did you get into writing? Tell me about that.
Well, I went to film school, and I wanted to act and direct. And then when I got out of film school, I wrote a couple screenplays. And I got, as a day job, I got a job at Fox working as an audio guy. So I'm aging myself, but I've been there almost going on 20 years next year. That was my day job. And by night, I would write, and I got a couple screenplays done, but then I couldn't find anybody who were interested. So around 2012, that we had a former anchor there, John Gibson, said to me, why don't you just turn them into books, because you'll have more of a way to get them out there, and then you could maybe turn them back into movies. And I said, okay. So I took the long route. I took the screenplays, converted them into books. I released one in 2018 called Blood in the Streets, which takes place up in New Haven, Connecticut, where I'm from. And it's basically a Dirty Harry movie, like a 70s cop thriller. It's got connections to the Doors and Jim Morrison because he was arrested
in New Haven, Connecticut. Yeah.
And then subsequently on their album Morrison Hotel, there's a song called Peace Frog, and in it he says blood in the streets in the town of New Haven.
Yeah.
And that's where I got the name for the book. And it's basically your Kojak, Bullet, Dirty Harry kind of French Connection taking place up in New Haven, and one day I hope to get that sucker made. And then this new one coming out in June, this one's called Morris P.I., and it's basically your Indiana Jones movie. It's a Harlem detective in the 40s, right at the end of World War II, when he discovers Nazis trying to get their loot from Europe to South America by way of New York City. And it's got zombie Nazis, it's got action, it's got horror, sci-fi. Like I said, it's basically your typical Indiana Jones movie, and that's called Morris P.I., The Men from Ice House 4. It's kind of like has that title like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Sounds
one of those
great.
Like old-fashioned serial titles. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you and I are pretty close to the same age, because I'm thinking, a Dirty Harry book and a Indiana Jones, but that's right up my alley.
Well, that was what I grew up watching. I've almost kind of fallen out of, like, with all these new superhero movies. I mean, I find myself just sitting down and getting on, like an old retro channel and watching all the old stuff, which is new to me. So I'm binging Naked City, the Highway Patrol, all the old Dragnet, and then all that kind of Jack Benny and, all kinds of great stuff from the back in the day that in my personal opinion, I find far better than what we have today coming out.
Yeah, I agree.
Except for the stuff I'm in and the stuff I'm writing.
Hey, we mentioned Fox News. I'm sure my listeners are like, well, what did he do on Fox News?
Well, I started out there as a prompter operator, and then I evolved to an A2, which is the technical name, but I'm basically an audio guy, and I would be in the studio, and I'm the guy who puts the mic on the anchor or the guest. So I worked on the O'Reilly Factor, Hannity and Combs, Megyn Kelly Show, Bill Hemmer, Martha McCallum. Now I'm currently working on Kennedy on Fox Business Channel. I work with Neil Cavuto, Sean Hannity. So I've been doing that for 20 years. And then around 2011, Neil Cavuto started putting me on air because he had the fledgling Fox Business Channel was just coming out and up and coming. So he was trying to promote that. So it became the shtick, if you don't get Fox Business, you should call your local cable company and demand it. So the line ended up being, if you don't get Fox Business, demand it. And I became the demand it guy. I do like a little comedy routine by the end, of his show, just to make him laugh, to joke, to get people to demand Fox Business. So, and then I've still been doing my day job there at Fox News, as an audio guy, being a fly on the wall, for a lot of shows and people and conversations. Even the 2019 movie Bombshell, there's a big fat guy playing me in it. It's pretty funny, like, the sound guy. So it's very fun, working there all these years, and they're great people that work there. And I've made a lot of friends, and including Tyrus, who's the one who got me the John Schneider gig stand on it, which was a blessing.
Now you got hooked up with that whole crew.
Yeah, and geez, so what a legend, John Schneider. I mean, it's like meeting Luke Skywalker or
right.
somebody, and then on top of it, as being at Fox for 20 years, you do encounter people who, may not be the nicest people. And I'm not talking about the people I work with daily, but it's one of those things where I'm sure when you come across a lot of, say, celebrities, there's people you may idolize, but then you don't know when you meet them if that idealistic view you have of them growing up is going to be shattered because they're going to be like, a mean son of a gun. So
never meet your heroes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, but then, meeting John was just like a regular movie guy. I'm having the same conversation talking about Jack Elam or Jackie Gleason or, Raymond Burr and, with John. And John has such a long career, and his filmography of stuff he's done. I was on YouTube watching a TV movie he did with the actress from Taxi, Mary Lou Hemmer, maybe.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's that guy. So I'm texting him saying, asking him, just bugging him. But luckily he's a film nut like I am, so he's happy to talk about it and answer that stuff. So I don't annoy him too much.
Yeah, the first time I met him, I'm like, oh my God, it's you. And he's like, yes, it is. It's me.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm like, you don't understand, man. You don't
it must be
understand.
surreal for him. It's like I met Sylvester Stallone in 2005 or 6, and he was kind of quiet. Then it occurred to me, like, I guess since 1975 or 6, the world has been trying to attack him. He can't go to he can go to China or Japan and they'll still know who he is. So I guess with John, as Bo Duke, he can go anywhere in the world. People are going to recognize him. So at some point you have to come to terms with that.
Yeah.
And then for him just to be such a regular guy anyway and being like, hey, how are you? And so talkative, so nice, so inviting. It's really incredible.
Yeah.
And it's humbling as well.
Well, I look forward to the event. It's only a couple of weeks away now.
I know. I can't believe how quick it's coming up. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just before I know we're going to be down there, and then it's going to be over, and then it's going to be sad.
The book's not out yet, so you won't actually have copies.
No, I'll have the other book. I'll have Blood in the Streets there, and then I'll be just pushing the one coming out in June. Yeah, so that's available for pre-order now.
And how can people find that?
You can get that on Amazon. The first book is available in paperback, ebook, and even audiobook. And now I just saw that they're releasing it as an audio CD, the audiobook, which is, I'm like, oh my God, that's great. I'm going to buy the 8 discs. So I don't know how many, like,
you're going to buy your own, huh?
Yeah, I support myself. And that's available on Amazon. And then the new book, the Morris P.I., which is just basically, like I said, like the film noir kind of gritty private detective 40s one. That's also available for pre-order on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and it's going to eventually have an audiobook. Someone read it, which is exciting.
Very cool. Well, thank you for your time today, buddy.
No, thank you so much. Great checking in with you, and I can't wait to see you. And Jesus, I think it's going to be just over 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks, man. See you in Holden.
Yeah, I'm gonna need just one favor from you. I'm gonna need you just to keep that weather like it is, like you said down there now. So
I'll call my guy right now. I'll call him.
Make a call in for me, please. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. You too. Bye.
When the alligator crawled up to me and said, hey, I like a tune. He started to twist and shake his tail, thought he was having a fit, and my fingers were